Hey, everybody, it is Radley. I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk to you about something new that I have created. I, it's like I'm just looking at myself in the screen. It's like I've had this shirt a long time. In fact, it's like I'd forgotten about this, but I remember Reed Tracy interviewing me in this shirt. And one of the very first things that I published at Hay House. And it's like I don't wear it a lot, and that's why it's held up. I mean, it's at least 10 years old, maybe 12. And I don't wear it all that often. But when I start to think about something new that I'm doing or something that I feel really strongly about, this shirt always sort of comes to the forefront. It's not the sequins or the glitter. It's just this thing that just sort of screams Archangel Michael, which is so ironic in a way. But I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I've started something new, and it's I've known for over a year I wanted to do this, and I also want you to understand who this is for. This is it's a class, but it's not a beginner class, and it's not a video course, and it's not for people who are just starting to explore angels for the first time. It's for people who already work with angels and want to trust that connection more deeply. One of the hardest parts of intuitive or angelic work isn't just about opening the connection, it's about trusting it. Trusting what you receive, trusting that you're not making it up, trusting that the angels will actually show up when you call. Trusting yourself enough to stop second guessing every single impression you get. And I've watched this pattern repeat for decades. People who are clearly intuitive, clearly connected, but who hesitate just enough to stay stuck. And it's not because they can't do the work. It's because they don't fully trust what's already coming through. It's like I mentioned that it's like Archangel Michael. It's ironic that I'm wearing this because I remember the first time I ever tried to channel an archangel. Like literally, sit in the chair, kind of put yourself in neutral, let the archangel talk. And I I was like in my late 20s, and a friend was guiding me through the process. And she's the one who chose Michael for me to channel. It was her idea. It's like, which makes total sense. It's like, who would you pick? You're going to pick Archangel Michael because I feel safe and protected, and he's the big savior of the universe, which he thinks is hilarious. But do you know what I got? I got nothing. I got a big fat nothing. And I remember thinking, well, okay, that was embarrassing, but it wasn't just it was embarrassing, it was this whole sense of this feeling of like imposter syndrome, or I really am making this up. When I put it on the spot, I can't do it. And but the issue wasn't ability, it was trust and relationship. And while it was a logical choice by this woman to think, oh, pick Michael. I wasn't working with Michael. I was working with the big gold guy. Him. I was working with Uriel. That's who I was working with day in and day out. That's who I had this amazing relationship with. It was an exclusive. I mean, we were monogamous, me and Uriel. We really were. And that's where my trust lived. So when my friend realized what was happening, that's when she switched to the exercise to Uriel. And then suddenly it was there. The words just flowed, golden glitter coming out of my mouth. Like some people would say, that's always what's coming out of my mouth. But the experience taught me something that I've never forgotten. And that it was the channel wasn't broken and I wasn't bad at this. I simply hadn't learned how to trust the connection yet. And trust is really important. Trust is critical. Channeling isn't the same thing as intuiting an answer. It's not chatting back and forth with the angels in your head. Channeling is more about stepping out of the way. It's like I literally do think about it about putting myself in neutral, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and allowing the guidance to move through you rather than being filtered and forced. And frankly, I do that all the time. I do it whenever I'm teaching, I do it whenever I'm on stage. It's automatic for me. And yet, there are also these times where even I feel like I'm not connected. There are times in everybody's life where it's like, okay, it's like any relationship. It's like you've been talking to angels for a really long time, maybe. And just like a romantic relationship or a friendship, it's like you start to just take it all for granted. And you start to think of it as just being this thing that just sort of happens. And then there's less oomph to it. It's, the first time you like do something with angels and you get a message, it's like powerful and amazing. It's a little like falling in love, but then it can fade. And it's not just you or anybody, it's me. It's like I had some months last year that were really challenging for me because I really wanted something really badly, felt like I needed it. And at the time, I didn't even understand why I desperately needed it. I do now. And I know that the need for it was angelically divine. But to be able to be in a place where you can pull back the intensity of that relationship requires presence, it requires a sense of safety, practice, and trust. And trust. So I've created this class. It's called the Art of Angelic Channeling. And this is an in-person intensive happening this May in my favorite city in the entire world, Denver, Colorado. It's designed for people who already work with angels, people who receive guidance and want to refine that connection so it feels steadier, clearer, and more trustworthy. Because this is not about performance. No one's going to be channeling in front of the room unless you just really want to, and we can talk about it. But that's not the plan. You're not going to be put on the spot. You will be working in pairs and very small groups so that you can build that trust naturally without pressure or comparison. And that's important. And so that's why I'm saying that this is not the right place to start if you're brand new to angels. But it is a good fit if you already ask angels for guidance, if you receive impressions and feelings, thoughts, or messages. Maybe you've taken my classes, CATR, CACR, maybe, CAA. You've been part of my membership. You've done intensive work, intuitive work for others. And yes, you do sometimes doubt what you receive, even when it feels real in the moment. This work isn't about learning how to connect, it's about learning how to trust the connection you already have. So, why is it in person? You know what? I am the first person to say that online learning has been a gift. It's been amazing. It's expanded access in incredible ways. But I also think that there's another side to that coin where we've lost something. I remember when these classes were only done in person. And there's a thing that happens in person that just can't be matched online. There's a thing where you're with like minded people and other spiritual folks who are there with you in the moment to give you a hug, to reach out to you, to say they felt it too. There's just certain forms of spiritual work that just doesn't translate nearly as well through the screen. And angelic communication like this is subtle, and trust is energetic. Recognition happens through presence. And there's just something powerful about being in the room, feeling the energy shift, recognizing resonance, and having those quiet, oh, this is real moments that build confidence in a way that nothing else can. Now, is this a huge thing? Is there going to be 500 people there? No, no. It's really small. It's a small group. And because that also breeds intimacy, and it breeds this whole sense of connection to other people who are there with you and feel it. So if this class, the Art of Angelic Channeling, sounds interesting to you, just know that this invitation is not meant to be urgent, and it's not about pressure. It's just an invitation that if this feels like the right next step for you, if it's just super clear to you that this is the right thing, then I'd love to welcome you into the room this May. And you know what? If it's not your time, you should trust that too. You heard me say that forever. Trust that, because discernment will always be part of this work. All the details are available now. I'll put the link below. And if you're just listening, then you can find it at radleyvalentine.com/mastermind. One word. So that's it. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. Thanks for taking a few minutes to be here with me. And wherever you are on your path, I hope that you can always trust that your angels are always, always, always closer than you think.